I'd like to give a little help here to people who are close to being beginners on the guitar. I pretty much am assuming that you know some basic chords. I'm going to cover a little bit about the key of E. The first chord in the key of E, the one chord, is the E chord. The second chord in the key of E is the F sharp minor. See here are the notes. If you play them one by one like that, we call it an arpeggio. The 3 chord is the G sharp minor. And the 4 chord is the A chord. Of course, the A chord is also here. And you can play, depending on how many strings of it you want to play, how many voices you want to hear. You can play it here. You can play all 5 voices. Or you can only play a few if you want to. I like to call them voices. I like to call the tones voices. I think of voices in a chorus. I like that idea about the guitar. I imagine that I've got these multiple voices at my disposal, as if I've got these singers at my disposal to give the sound I want. So that A is the 4 chord. Play as much or as little of it as you want. The 5 chord is going to be a B. Or if you want to, you can make it a B7. It's your choice. Whatever sound you want. Both of these are major type chords. And the 6th chord will be a C minor. The 7 chord will be a D sharp diminished. They don't get used as much. And then back to the 1 chord. That's an E chord 1 octave higher. So really I ran the E major scale in chords, with the chord tone being in the bass. The notes being E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, and E, 1 octave higher. Notice this E is the same as this E. I'll run the scale in chords. And of course you can do it backwards. I'm wanting to stop. I'm getting ideas for possible songs, little melodies in there. See, I want to stop here because I'm thinking of a melody, but for the point of demonstration, I'll play the whole chord. Okay. So, I'm sure you have already figured out that the E major scale is going to work with these chords, because actually these chords are all right in the E major scale. Okay, I hope that helped you a little bit out with the key of E. Another easy thing I could probably show you. A lot of people know this sort of simple box pattern on the guitar. A lot of people play it. We'll play the A minor pentatonic scale. I'm going to show you the same form, but if we start it here on this high E and then make the box from there, we'll get what's called the E major pentatonic scale. And of course you can probably hear other things that you'd like me to be doing, but for the point of the exercise I'm just sticking to those tones in the major pentatonic scale. I'll do it this way so you can see everything. See, those notes have to be in there. Alright. I'm going to start here. Okay. Now I could say a lot more as far as what minor pentatonic scale this is relative to, but I don't want to say too much at once because I'm afraid it will just confuse you. This is just one form of the E major pentatonic scale, but you can have a lot of fun with it. I can show you a form that's down. Let's see. I'll show you a form that's down here closer to the open string chords too, so it's easier to, you know. It's easier to get to this form. Here it is. So those are the basic tones. They fall in the middle strings in this form, but I want to give you all the strings. So here's the rest of the strings. Oops, sorry. That's what the whole form, that's what all of the tones look like. But if you don't start it and end it on an E, it won't sound like an E major pentatonic. Of course, as you learn how to play, you'll learn that you don't always want to end on an E. It'll sound too predictable. For example, there I ended on an F sharp, which is the 9 in the key of E. You know, it starts to really sound like music when you do things like that. So, here's that one chord in the key of E again. those are just tones in that major pentatonic that I gave you. And notice the little bass tones that I chose. I chose the root, or I can just say the lowest note for our purposes right now, of those chords that I showed you in the key of E. So instead of having to play which is way too clunky, I just play the lowest note sometimes. See, there's just notes in the E major scale. In case you don't know this open string E major scale, here it is. And if you want to keep going, okay. When I finger it, I play it more like this. But I think the main thing is to do what's comfortable. See, there's the 5 chord. 5 chord, 4 chord, 5 chord. It sounds a little bit songy. I'm not trying to really make a song. I'm just trying to show you how these chords in the key are raw material for you to use as the building blocks for your own songs. So go ahead and be creative. And I'll see you next time.